Have you seen it yet? A lot of people have. But boy, are they trying to keep it on the down low. What I'm going to show you tonight has really no explanation. What I'm going to show you tonight is I'm searching for a word. I'm searching for a term. Abject cover-up. I think that's it. I mean, it's so bad what I'm going to show you tonight. And I mean, you're going to think, Bernie, you're always being so dramatic. No, it's really, really scary. That's why nobody else in the whole world is reporting this. Because the last thing you want is a pissed off Sheriff Tommy Ford. You remember what happened last time? He sent 7 deputies to surround my home. Searched my backyard for 8 minutes without a warrant. I mean, they had to hit it hard because somebody said there were missing AirPods and they were pinging from Thompson's house. This was just 4 months after he got mad at me because I had to report the truth about James Finch. Did it not play out just like I told you? Well, that's the cost of telling you the truth around here. But what's even scarier is that if you were to get arrested by Sheriff Tommy Ford for, I don't know, representing your client as an attorney, maybe, then it goes to the top prosecutor, and that's State Attorney Larry Bassford. And he'll add charges. Hey, let's add tampering with a witness. A year ago, he posted a post and he bragged about, we're going to start adding tampering with a witness because it brings longer sentences. Yeah, but what if the person doesn't deserve it? He rubs his hands together. Unless you're Ricky Ramie, I'm going to show you tonight the craziest stuff you'll ever see in your whole life. I mean, maybe it just keeps getting crazier. So maybe till, I don't know, next week, get even crazier. But the police chief, the vulgar and vindictive Lynn Haven police chief, Ricky Ramie, he was arrested by the FHP. Now, they didn't cuff him and stuff him, but they said you got to show up in Judge Joe Grammer's courtroom for an arraignment. And then I reported this. I broke the story Wednesday night. And all hell's broken loose. Because by Friday, Judge Joe Grammer recused himself. And now Chief Ramie is scheduled to be arraigned in Judge Shane Van's courtroom on March 8th. Now, look, things are happening fast because, here, look, Chief Ramie, he said that it was just a medical situation, medical condition. All right, and that's all it was, a statement from Chief Ramie. But what I'm going to do is I'll show you the video first. And then we'll talk about it. I'll show you what WMBB had to say. I'll show you what the court documents say. And because I'm a reasonable man, we'll show you everything Chief Ramie has said. And I'll show you every press conference that Sheriff Tommy Ford and State Attorney Larry Bassford have issued on this. And the doctor of leadership, this is his town. It's Lynn Haven. So the doctor of leadership, he said he had a doctor of leadership, Jesse Nelson, I'll show you his press conference as well. The leadership being shown by the sheriff, who is, by the way, of all 67 sheriffs in Florida, Sheriff Tommy Ford was tapped by Governor Ron DeSantis for his ethics. He has character beyond reproach, Tommy Ford does. And he is the chairman of the FDLE's Criminal Justice and Professional Standards Commission. He's the one who evaluates if police officers have done anything wrong, recommend sanctions, corrections, lead by example kind of thing, Tommy Ford. So I'll show you all that stuff too. But let's get right to, I know what you want to see. So let's take a look at it. I don't know, why is this such a big secret? If it was anybody else, Tom Huey Lewis in the news, WMBB, would be running it on just loop. You know, like they did Mayor Margot Anderson when they set her up. Okay, here you go. It's not very long, and you can't see it too well, but I'm going to describe what you see. All right, this is Miss Newbies. This is Miss Newbies closing down about 3:30 in the morning on a Saturday night. I guess it's really Saturday morning. It's like 3:30 in the morning, and Newbies is closing down. And what you're going to see up there, you see the burgundy dually, the big pickup truck over there. That's Chief Ramie. It's closed down, and he's been there having fun. He's trying to leave. But what's going to happen? And this is exactly what the FHP report said. What's going to happen is Chief Ramie's not going to be able to make that turn, that left turn, because there's a white Mercury there, and there's like a pole on the other side. So he's got to kind of back that big thing up. No, I'm not talking about in the club. I'm talking about in the parking lot. Stop. He's a married man. He's going to back that big thing up, and when he does, he's going to bump the white Mercury. And then he's going to drive by it. You'll see him looking at the white Mercury. And then he'll get out and take a look at it. Then he'll look around, get back in the dually, and bone out. That's called leaving the scene of an accident. Okay, that's what he was arrested for. Let's take a look. There's no volume or anything like that, but you'll see. All right, then he takes off there. We're going to analyze it again here in a minute, but in fact, we'll do it right now. So you see what you saw it first that time. Let's take a look again. So he's trying to circle around. The bar just closed 3:30 in the morning. Okay, watch. He can't quite make that turn, so he figures I'll just back that big thing up. And right here, watch. That's where he hits the bumper. He's going, oh, man, son of a. So now he's going to drive by. He's going to take a good look at it there. See if there's anybody in there. Okay. Son of a bitch. Okay. Go forward a little bit. Now, this is interesting. Watch him roll up his tinted window. That's interesting because I can't see if there's anybody in there with him or anything. And then he's going to walk over to it. See, evidently it was $3,500 of damage. $3,500 of damage? All right. And according to FHP, he has his business card out. He's thought better of it, put it back in his pocket. Let bygones be bygones. And then I can't see if there's anybody in there, but he rolled up the dark window. But now it's time to get out of Dodge. Gone. All right, so that's the video. Don't say Thompson dragged it on. Didn't get to the point. All right, do you want to see who chased him down? you're not getting away from the guy who chased him down. So he's trying to get out of there before anybody sees him. Yeah. Oh, now he because I want to give you the whole story. Chief Ramie has explained this in the I've shown you for a second right here. This is his statement. And if you look up high right there, the first underline, it said, on December 30th, I was involved in an accident. At Newbies on Thomas Drive, I did get out of my vehicle and confirm no one was in the parked car. So everybody was safe, right? Which was his first concern. I was experiencing a medical condition. So I departed not realizing that I didn't leave my information. I was later stopped by what I believed to be an employee security of the establishment a block away. Somebody ran him down. I provided him with a photo of my Florida driver's license, and which was taken back to the scene. To the scene that you left? The scene. I have cooperated with the FHP in the investigation for over a month. That's crazy as hell. I always thought if you get arrested or charged for something like that, that you're not able to go back and investigate yourself. Doesn't that seem a little unusual? I have cooperated. Those things are turned in within days, or it's big trouble for the officer. The case was sent to the state attorney's office for review. So in other words, the FHP, according to Chief Ramie, the FHP wanted to get State Attorney Larry Bassford's take on it before they just go ahead and charge him, for the criminal traffic violation. Now, this is also, incidentally, what Lieutenant Jeremy Mathis did when he had pulled over Attorney Hoot Crawford and his client and detained him for more than an hour waiting for an emergency order to get the girl. Get the girl. That's a quote from Chinatown, actually. Just get the girl. God, it's so scary. Anyway, Jeremy Mathis, Lieutenant Mathis, he also did a review. He called the state attorney, Larry Bassford. And State Attorney Bassford said, yeah, I recommend arresting the crap out of Hoot Crawford. And he did, as you know. But here, though, even though Hoot Crawford had said he wanted to run against Larry Bassford for state attorney, you'd have thought that a potential candidate, rival, might warrant, a conflict of interest and you recuse yourself. But no, Bassford added charges on Hoot Crawford. He didn't see any kind of conflict, but this time he saw a conflict. And so Larry Bassford recused himself from the case and reached out to the governor's office for assignment. The case was sent to 1st District out of Pensacola for review of criminal charges. Now, you can tell Ramie wrote this because there's no such thing as 1st District out of Pensacola. It's called the 1st Judicial Circuit. And that's where you'll find the state attorney, the main prosecutor for several counties, west of Larry Bassford. And that would be State Attorney Ginger Bowden Madden, okay? So according to Ramie, Bassford wanted to make sure he didn't have a conflict of interest, so he sent it to the governor. And according to Ramie, the governor sent it to State Attorney Ginger Madden, who incidentally had a romantic relationship several years ago with our state attorney, Larry Bassford. So what I'm learning is Larry likes to send his stuff over to Ginger when he says, I got a conflict. Ring, ring. Hey, Ginger, another one coming. Gotcha, baby. I'm just joking. They're definitely going to add tampering with witness charges. You remember when he did that? Yeah, I remember. He's not laughing now, is he? No. I mean, we're just talking here and making a joke. All right, so it goes on. So according to Ramie, it went over there, and on February 9, I learned from FHP officials, I can't wait to find out who, that the first district, meaning Ginger, advised that the case should be handled by the issuing of civil citations. We don't need no criminal citations here. And the next day, on February 10, it's a few days ago, I met with FHP trooper, the trooper investigating the case. I want to know who. And received 3 civil infractions. Those civil infraction citations have all been paid, and I'm awaiting the final disposition of the open case in the clerk of court. I have been told verbally that the open criminal case will be dismissed. Now, let me ask you this. If you were the one who got a ticket for leaving the scene of an accident, which I'm sure everybody makes a mistake, right? It's not like he makes a habit out of it, Chief Ramie, right? And because he has no criminal history and it's not something that happens ever except this time, maybe he needs to be cut a little slack. And so he says he's been told that it'll be dismissed. Now, if you leave the scene of a crime, do you think that you'll get to go, let's say Sheriff Ford, let's say a deputy arrests you for causing $3,500 of damage to somebody's car and then leaving the scene of a crime. Do you think that you get to go and say, I'm going to go investigate with Lieutenant Mathis and the rest of the guys in the sheriff's office? I'm going to go over there and help them investigate for more than a month. Meanwhile, the lead attorney is going to send it over to his ex-girlfriend, and she's going to recommend just civil tickets is enough. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Today I learned, when I tell you this thing is evolving quickly, it's evolving quickly. So today, because clearly he hadn't done anything wrong, Chief Ramie hired defense attorney Waylon Graham today. It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan could make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at pcairrepair.com. Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. Now, I've been thinking about the whole medical. He was having a medical condition at the time, and I watched the video. And I'll tell you, I'm no saint. I've had a few medical conditions myself. So no judgment passed, man. It's just I don't wear a badge and put other people in jail for it. You know what I'm talking about?
This will not stand. This aggression will not stand, man.
I'll say, and they're in a lot of trouble, every one of them. And one reason why is because when Chief Ramie drove the big dually out of there, right, with white paint on his bumper of his big maroon dually, he got chased down. He got chased down by, see if I have this. I think I know where I can get it. He got chased down by, and it's in the report. Here we go. He got, and I'll show you the report here in a second. He got chased down by somebody who saw it that was driving had a Hemi. Yeah, I could outrun a Hemi, especially when it's Daryl Quimby. Daryl Quimby posted this on his Facebook page. I was reading the report. I thought, I wonder who Daryl Quimby is. Probably somebody, hiding so the cops don't get mad at him. Not this guy. Look what he wrote. Couldn't outrun the Hemi. You can read that, right? So, and then what happened was he caught Chief Ramie, and now there's some different stories about this at this point. But according to the HP investigation, Ramie ended up taking a picture of his driver's license, texting it to Daryl, who chased his ass down and said, look, man, I gave my driver's license to the guy. Then the FHP says they went, oh, it was Ricky Ramie again. So they went to his house, or they went to where he was staying, and they said the red dually was out front with white paint on the bumper. That's called a clue, right? Right. So, doing their good FHP police work. Hey, Charlie, yeah, look at this. Oh, there's white paint on the dually. He's probably here because he's got a medical condition. He can't be far, right? So they knock on the door, but he's not there. Evidently, they said they couldn't get in touch with him, even though his car was there. So they go back and they think about what could have possibly happened. Where could he be? So the next day, they go knock on the door again, and he's there, right? According to the FHP report. And they explain why he's there, and they asked him if, what occurred, And in the FHP report, it says that what Chief Ramie was saying didn't match the video. That's called interfering with an investigation. I know because I've been watching a lot of these things. And the police will pop you with that. The heck? Look at my screen has a thumb. The police will pop you with that lickety split. Chief Ramie's like, I've been there too. Lickety split. That means fast, by the way. They'll pop you with that quick, but not Chief Ramie. He had a different story that didn't match the video. But then again, videos don't tell the whole story, right? So, but here's the weirdest part of all. The weirdest part of all is it was December 30th when Chief Ramie bumped in to the white car and cost $3,500 of damage and then left the scene of the accident, which is a criminal traffic violation. And it took about 6 weeks, but the FHP finally, after Chief Ramie helping them investigate, they finally turned it in, and let me show you what it looks like. Here it is. Look at this. Look at this. This was filed by the FHP on February 6th. This is super important. Take a look. You see that? It's a criminal violation on the left. Court appearance is required. See that? Not careless driving. It was actually leaving the scene of a crash. That's a criminal traffic violation. That was filed. The FHP filed that ticket finally with the clerk of the court, the Bay County Court. But, and you can see there's the number there on the bottom. But here's the weird thing, okay? The weird thing is that 3 days later, on February 9th, just like Chief Ramie described it, boom, you see, now it's February 9th. There was another one filed. Only this time, look at the bottom, there was no criminal violation. This one here just disappeared. Look. Now you see it. Wait. Now you see criminal on the bottom, criminal, February 6th. Now you see it. Now you don't. It's like magic, but here's the craziest part. It changed without a judge hearing anything about, without it being adjudicated. No, there's not even a state attorney on the case because Ramie, State Attorney Basford had recused himself. And Governor DeSantis hasn't appointed anyone yet. There is currently no state attorney, no prosecutor on this case. But still, it's gone. That's not really gone because if you search it right now in the clerk of court, Bay County clerk of court. It's still there. And Chief Ramie today hired Waylon Graham, the big fancy defense attorney. He just hired that today. Hired Waylon Graham today. Huh. That's weird, man. Isn't that weird? 2 sets of tickets for the same incident saying different things. Now, how could that be? Here, do you see the double underline right in the middle? On the new one that just somehow replaced the old ticket, on the new ticket, by the way, this never, ever, ever in the history of the world ever happens. Only this time. First time for everything, Bernie. Per SAO in Pensacola? Well, I'll be damned. That's Ginger Madden. She hasn't, you see that? She hasn't even been assigned to the case yet. I'll be damned. Chief Ramie was right. See the middle? A week ago, Chief Ramie made a statement. And he said, the state attorney's office, it went there, the FHP sent it to them for review before they ever actually filed it. And State Attorney Larry Bassford recused himself from the case and reached out to the governor's office. And the case was sent to the 1st District, meaning the 1st Judicial Circuit, which is where State Attorney Ginger Madden is. And he was told verbally it would be dismissed. Now, have you ever gotten in trouble with the law around here? And if you have, do you get phone calls from another state attorney saying, hey, everything's going to be closed out. Don't worry about a thing. I don't see it happening. I watch people, they try to throw people away like crazy. And nobody gets to investigate their own case. Have the state attorney recuse himself. The governor never appoints anybody, but somebody steps in. Again, incidentally, I've got to say this because it's, come on, you're going to get mad at me, but it's part of the story. Ginger Madden, the state attorney in Pensacola, that's the next closest big prosecutor outside of this circuit. She's got her own circuit. She and Bassford had a thing going on years ago. They were boyfriend, girlfriend years ago. And it just doesn't feel right to me. If I'm a defendant, and you might be soon, Bernie. If I'm a defendant, and Bassford says, I got to recuse myself, I don't want him sending it to his ex-girlfriend. They got it, evidently they still got a good relationship. I really don't want him sending it the other way either, to Jack Campbell, who took over for Willie Meggs a long time ago. Willie Meggs thought justice was willy-nilly for years. They got you coming and going here. Unless you're Ricky Ramie. See, look. Unless you're Ricky Ramie. See where it says right in the middle? Per state attorney office in Pensacola. How? And this is where I need your help. For you, officers of the court. I know I joke about being Bernie the attorney, and people say you'll be that again real soon, Bernie. Real soon. Okay. Ooh, give me subpoena power. Now, you think I'm joking. Say, Bernie, you're always playing, okay? You would not believe. I'm going to actually show you, though, some of the stuff going on around here. Not today, but I'll show you. You're not going to believe it. Where was I? Oh, yeah. This doesn't happen unless you're Chief Ramie. But the craziest part of this whole thing is, how did the state attorney in Pensacola, because she's the only, her office is the only office that could dismiss it if the governor had already assigned it, and he hasn't. How did, I need help from the learned, from those of you who could actually kick ass on the LSAT. Now, the LSAT is a logic test that you got to pass to get into law school. You got to do real well. And I thought, well, these lawyers are dumb. So as a lark, I took the LSAT just to prove I'd done the lawyers' work. Oh, my God. I embarrassed the out of myself. Lawyers are smart. Okay, they are way smarter than I am. I'm not joking. They're way, way smarter than I am because I can't pass the LSAT. Right now they're laughing. I knew he was dumb. I knew he couldn't follow logic. Man, I'm going to need a little time on that, okay? So here's what I'm telling you. When lawyers say stupid stuff and they're smarter than I am, I know they're not being honest. If I can figure out that this cannot possibly be in her jurisdiction yet, but you're claiming it is, and you pass the LSAT, but I can't, you're dishonest. You're being dishonest, and the jig is up. So here's the issue. If this is what I suspect it could be, there could be some. How come there's 2 accidents? I said just put a crash on there. There's 2 of them there. That's fair. But when see that's the state attorney Larry Bassford that's good friends with the police chief there, the prosecutor. When he sent the letter to the governor saying I need to recuse myself, he said that there was he said he fled the scene of an accident with injury. With injury, that's what Larry Bassford said to Governor DeSantis. Oh, Bernie, he probably just made a mistake. It might have just been a typo. Look, man, that's Larry Bassford. He kicks ass on the LSAT. He's the state attorney. He's the top dog in 6 counties. Don't you question him, man. If he tells the governor that Ramie left the scene of an accident with injury, he's an officer of the court. He cannot lie. So we got to take him at his word. I mean, don't you? And there on the other side there's Sheriff Tommy Ford. He's fishing buddies, good friends with Bassford. And also, as I said, the FDLE's chairman of the Criminal Justice and Professional Standards Commission. He's the one who disciplines cops. And he doesn't see anything Ramie's done wrong. All right, let's take a look at WMBB's story. They were rough on him. And here's what I know about WMBB. If they run a story like this, they got Sheriff Tommy Ford's approval to do it. Huey Lewis in the news here, he doesn't just do this kind of stuff without running it by Sheriff Tommy Ford first. Look, listen, this story came out the day after I broke the story. They had to say something then, right? Oh, come on. I may need to refresh. Let me try to refresh the thing, see what happens. Yeah, look at this.
There are a lot of questions surfacing tonight about a recent traffic incident involving Lynn Haven Police Chief Ricky Ramie. In late December, Ramie had a parked car with his personal vehicle in the parking lot of a popular Thomas Drive night spot. As News 13's Courtney Evans tells us, Ramie says the matter has been resolved, but it's unclear if that's actually the case.
In the early morning hours of December 30th, the Florida Highway Patrol responded to a reported hit-and-run accident at Miss Newby's Lounge. A maroon dually pickup truck attempting to leave the parking lot sideswiped a Mercury Grand Marquis, damaging the headlight area. Using security video from the bar, troopers say they identified the truck's driver as Lynn Haven Police Chief Ricky Ramie. Troopers say the video shows Ramie get out of his truck, walk over to the other vehicle, look around, then drive away. Troopers say they attempted to find Ramie shortly after leaving the bar. They say they found the truck in the driveway of his home, but were unable to contact Ramie. They say they went back the next day and found Ramie, who gave his version of what happened. When we contacted Lynn Haven City Manager Vicki Gaynor on Thursday, she declined to comment on the matter, but Ramie did issue a written statement. He says he was suffering from a medical condition at the time. He says he checked the mercury he hit, confirmed it was vacant, then planned to leave his contact information. Troopers say the video shows Ramie with what appears to be a card in his hand, but also say he stuck it back into his pocket and never put it on the car. Ramie says what he thinks was a newbie's employee or security signaled him to pull over a few blocks away. That's when Ramie claims he provided the man with a photo of his driver's license. That's how troopers tracked him down. They claim Ramie's story did not match up with the video and issued him a criminal traffic citation for leaving the scene of an accident that caused over $3,000 in damages. Since Ramie works with the state attorney's office, on January 24th, Larry Bassford asked the governor's office to assign the case to another judicial circuit. Technically, the case has not been assigned to them yet, but prosecutors with the First Judicial Circuit recommended the troopers cited Ramie with careless driving, failing to report a crash to law enforcement, and failing to leave contact information at the scene, all civil infractions. They say they were unaware the trooper had already submitted the criminal citation for hit and run. Ramie's statement claims he paid all 3 tickets and that he was told the original criminal citation will be dismissed. But for now, the Bay County Clerk of Court's website shows the citation is still open and Ramie has a February 23rd court date. This is just the latest in a series of incidents calling Ramie's judgment or actions into question. Last year during the Lynn Haven corruption investigation, text messages between Ramie and former city manager Michael White were leaked. Some involved derogatory comments about former city commissioner Judy Tinder and her domestic partner. Ramie supposedly fixed tickets for White, allowed him to fire an AR-15 at a gun range, gave him a firearm that was evidence in a closed case, and an allegation that a city contractor worked on Ramie's boat, then billed the city. An outside attorney investigated and said none of the actions rose to the level needed.
What actually Chief Ramie told Chief Judge Mark Walker on the witness stand was this. Defense attorney for James Finch, or I think it was defense attorney for James Finch, asked Chief Ramie about giving Michael White a gun from the evidence locker. You know, they arrest somebody, they say he's a criminal, they seize his guns, they put it in the evidence locker. We find out now that Chief Ramie uses those. He gave one to the city manager, Michael White, who stole FEMA money from the city and is now in prison. He gave a 40, and then, well, Bernie, maybe Michael White was responsible. He pointed it at his wife's head, threatened to shoot her. And in court, you know what he told the jury? It wasn't loaded. Not joking. That was Chief Ramie's bro. They said, love you, bro, every night. Love you, bro. Chief Ramie even arrested a woman who thought she was in love with Michael White, and Michael White was trying to get rid of her. And so Chief Ramie arrested the woman for Michael White as a favor because Michael White was his boss, was the city manager before Vicky Gaynor. And Vicky Gaynor says Michael White was inspiring in his leadership. Swear to God, she says it. Swear to God, she says it. Oh my God, this is unreal. And do you know what Chief Ramie said to the judge? Who knows where I'm going with this? If you were in the courtroom, you know where I'm going with this. They asked Chief Ramie, did you give a gun out of the evidence locker to Michael White? And he said, I do. I give it all. I've given guns to judges. Defense attorney Guy Lewis looked around. He said, I don't know why you would say that. Ramie said, I give them out. I've given guns out of the evidence locker to judges. See, if I was the defense attorney, do you know what I would have said? Take a guess. I would have said, which ones? How many guns has Chief Ricky Ramie taken out of the evidence locker and given them to? Are any of these judges in the Bay County Courthouse? Probably. Are any of the judges that get free guns from Ramie, are they going to be? We already had Judge Joe Grammer recuse himself. I don't know what the issue is. And now it's up to Judge Shane Vann. And by the way, I've heard decent things, good things about those two judges. You always hear other things too, right? You say, Bernie, you should hear what we've heard about you. That's my point. That's my point. But it does concern me that I saw Chief Ramie under oath in a federal courtroom tell Chief Judge Mark Walker that he has taken guns out of the evidence locker and given them to judges. That's all I'm saying. This place is nuts, but I'm sure it can't get any crazier than it is right now. This has got to be the apex of crazy, and we're getting back to normal, right? Tomorrow's show's got to be boring. After this, Bernie, somehow you landed the video. You just for clicks, though, just for clicks. Not because people deserve to see what the vulgar and vindictive police chief of Lynn Haven, who gets full cover from the sheriff, the state attorney, the mayor, and the entire council commission over there in Lynn Haven, and the city manager, Vicky Gaynor, who told the FBI, I walked in one day and saw him with the female lady, and they was having sex. There's an FBI memo where Vicky Gaynor, the current city manager, said I didn't know anybody was there that night. She walked in. You know, Vicky, she's a church lady, and she's very nice. She was shocked. She didn't know anybody was there. And she said, the female lady, who the city manager called Sweet Tart, by the way, Chris Forehand and Michael White used to call her Sweet Tart. You know, you going to bring Sweet Tart tonight? Yeah. As long as you arrest that other lady following me around. All right. Bros before, you know. This is all serious. I'm not making any of it up. Why don't I hear this? Because Tom Huey Lewis in the news has the other broad. Probably. I want the 40K. I'll give Tom the 25, you know, kind of thing. The jokes are not crazier than reality in this place over there in Lynn Haven. They arrested the good people, tried to throw them away for 1,050 years. Meanwhile, they're over there. They got the female lady riding Michael White. Michael White's got the guns out of the evidence locker. The judges are behind him going, and Vicky Gaynor walks in, grabs her, clutches her pearls, and goes, oh my. All right, that's what she told the FBI in an FBI memo. But in front of the judge, in front of Chief Judge Mark Walker, they asked her, I'm looking at an FBI memo here, ma'am. Did you walk in on Michael White having sex? And do you know what she told Chief Judge Mark Walker? I'll tell you right after this.
Hand caught in the cookie jar? Sometimes bad habits continue even into adulthood. I'm El Saline, 850-215-0628. Let me help you.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
So, city manager Vicky Gaynor, the one who right now, Police Chief Ricky Ramie says, I've been cooperating with the FBI, with the FHP for over a month, and I have kept city manager Vicky Gaynor fully apprised. Really? So she's in on this too? She tells the FBI one thing, that she walked in and saw Michael White having sex with the female lady, and then in front of Judge Mark Walker, you know what we thought for sure she had to say the same thing she said on the FBI affidavit 302. That's the investigation report. But you know what she said? Vicky Gaynor looked at the judge and she said, Judge, that is not true. When I had walked in that night, I did not see the female lady and Michael White having sex. Your Honor, what I saw, you can look at the transcripts. What I saw was she was slumped over. I was like, what? That's better? Was she conscious? What was he doing with her? She was just slumped over on his lap. It was unbelievable. On one hand, she said two things under oath.
Were you lying then? Are you lying now? Or are you not, in fact, a chronic and habitual liar?
There's really no telling. Anyway, oh yeah, we got to finish the all that because I was trying to correct the news lady here. Let's get back to what she was saying for WMBB last week. Here, I'm going to correct her as we talk. Oh yeah, it was about the chief has been in some hot water on himself when he shot an AR-15 at a range with Michael White. That's no big deal. Shooting a rifle at a range, that's no big deal. The big deal was he took it out of the evidence locker. The big deal was he's been giving guns out of the evidence locker to his buddies, including judges. That's what you should have reported. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get back there.
To terminate his employment. In Lynn Haven, Courtney
Here,
Evans,
watch.
News.
Sorry. Here we go.
Bay County Clerk of Court's website shows the citation is still open and Ramie has a February 23rd court date. This is just the latest in a series of incidents calling Ramie's judgment or actions into question. Last year during the Lynn Haven corruption investigation, text messages between Ramie and former city manager Michael White were leaked. Some involved derogatory comments about former city commissioner Judy Tinder and her domestic partner. Ramie supposedly fixed tickets for White, allowed him to fire an AR-15 at a gun range, gave him a firearm that was evidence in a closed case, and an allegation that a city contractor worked on Ramie's boat, then billed the city. An outside attorney investigated and said none of the actions rose to the level needed to terminate his employment. In Lynn Haven, Courtney Evans, News 13.
What Courtney Evans neglected to tell you is the attorney, the outside attorney that they mentioned. Lynn Haven, when last time Chief Ramie got in all this trouble, city manager Vicky Gaynor and the commission, they hired an outside attorney to do an internal investigation. Well, my internal investigation of the internal investigator showed that they hired the chief counsel for the Florida Police Chiefs Association. Is that stacking the deck? I looked him up. I said, that's another fakakta attorney. He's the chief counsel of the Police Chiefs Association. What's he going to do? Walk up there and say, yeah, the police chief is out of line, and there's no excusing it because we have higher standards as leaders. No, the fakakta attorney didn't say that at all. He said, well, it doesn't rise to the level. It's up to you. Now, I got my check. I'm out of here. And he dipped on back out, probably with a gun out of the evidence locker. Thanks. Appreciate it there, boss. Listen, I'm going to run. I wanted you to know about, I wanted you to see the video. If you missed the video, when we're done, you can just scroll on over and pass up all the slow parts of the show. But this is, the show of the year, right? All the clicks. Bernie's just doing this for clicks. Where to get the video? How to get the video? Listen, I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. Those of you who are trying to keep the evidence under wraps, but it's floating around. The video's all over the place. Google it. You'll probably find it. The video that you all think is under seal or something is all over the place. Bunch of people have it. I'll tell you for sure who has it. Officers of the court have it. I'm not the only one. In fact, I think my copy said, when you buy a painting, it says number 400 or 28. Mine said like number 319. Okay? That's what mine says, floating around. Y'all think everything is under seal? You might want to check on that. And how long are you going to keep going with this story you all have concocted? How many laws have you broken? The bump in the $350 damage to the White Mercury and boning out of the situation, that's bad enough, right? Being at the right place at the wrong time, or maybe at the wrong place at the right time. That's bad enough. But, boy, the cover-up, the elaborate cover-up, the sending a letter to the governor on January 24th, State Attorney Larry Bassford saying that it's an accident with injury? And then you guys pretending it's been already sent to State Attorney Ginger Madden? Did Ginger Madden really? Ginger Madden, ma'am, State Attorney, the Honorable, did you tell the FHP to go ahead and just write civil tickets? Don't worry about that. Did you do that? I don't think you did. It wasn't even your authority to do it. The governor hadn't tapped you. Larry Bassford can't tap you. What? He's not on the case anymore. She's been tapped for the case. But she hasn't been yet. She hasn't been yet. But she's the only one that would have the authority if she had been assigned to the case by the governor. But the problem is the governor hadn't assigned anybody. So I know Ginger couldn't have done it. Who else could have called the FHP officials that Chief Ramie talked about? Who else could have done that and said, hey, just dismiss the criminal stuff and give him an extra civil ticket? Who could have done that? You guys really think that that's just like not a big deal? I mean, I guess we'll test that theory. But if y'all think everything's under seal, lots of people have stuff. And lots of people know you're lying. And how long you guys continue to do it is one thing, but I'll tell you what, the cover-up's worse than the incident. I'm telling you, the cover-up's worse than the incident. And if you're part of the cover-up, you ought to blow the whistle now. Save your ass now, because there's some good people being pressured to do some stuff you shouldn't be doing. And you think, man, if we can just keep it under seal for a little bit longer, a bunch of people know. Just saying. Hey, by the way, Bernie, how come you can tell us the truth and other people can't? Because some of you, like the Unknown Patriot, sponsor the show and say, I don't want anybody to know who I am because they'll come after me. Well, you can be an Unknown Patriot too. And let me tell you, I sure could use the help. And for those of you who throw a tip in the tip jar with my independent efforts here at the Liberty Lounge, you can also do that. Look, $5 a month. Is this not the best $5? I know there's not a better $5 a month you can spend. I know it. It's easy. It's anonymous, and you can quit at any time. At patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. It's called crowdfunding, and without those of you who do it, I could not do this. So thank you so much. All right, with that, I'm out of here. I don't know when I'll be back. This is the Apex top of the top show of the year. He landed a video, and it's just salacious. Doesn't have any value to the community. Probably illegal. And, then he'll talk some more BS about something sometime, right? Well, when I do, I'll let you know. Thanks for being with me.